Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Retired journalists working for nothing but the truth and Social Security checks, and we got our friend Jamie back on. You were on up and down all night and day. Did Donald Trump keep you up at night?
No, cats.
I thought it might be the cats, not Trump. I thought I was thinking we'd crank up here with Daniel. Daniel Dell. Have you ever seen Daniel Dell on CNN? He's their fact checker,
right?
And I thought he did an especially good job on the fly last night. I mean, this was right after the speech, and he did what I would consider here a kind of a tour de force. Let's see if I've got the volume up on this.
Bring in someone who was invoked during the president's speech here on set. That is Daniel Dale, our senior reporter and resident fact checker. Daniel, obviously we heard a lot from the president, squeezed into those 15 minutes that were allotted to him. The White House makes that request to the networks. What did you hear in the president's remarks?
Caitlin, that was a fact check it, half asleep kind of presidential speech. So many of these claims have been debunked so many times. For example, the president said inflation is stopped. As Harry pointed out, it's not stopped. It's 3%. In fact, September, that 3% rate was the 5th consecutive month inflation had increased. The president also said that he inherited the worst inflation. He said some might say in the history of the country. Again, he inherited 3% inflation in January. Even the 9.1% peak of the Biden era in June 2022 was about a 40-year high, not a 48-year high, nowhere close to the all-time high of more than 23%. He spoke of cutting prescription drug prices by 400 to 600%. Those figures are mathematically impossible. If you cut it by more than 100%, people would get paid to get their medications, which of course is not happening. He said the price of eggs has fallen, which is true, but then he said everything else is falling rapidly. Everything else is not falling rapidly. In fact, even on groceries in particular, far more products have increased in price this term than have decreased. He said again, he secured $18 trillion in investment this year. That number is total fiction. Even the White House website uses a figure of $9.6 trillion. And my detailed review found that that figure is a wild exaggeration, accounting vague promises, vague, not even promises, and so on. He spoke of some states hitting $1.99 for gas. The lowest state average today is closer to $2.40. About 100 stations out of about 150,000 stations are below $2, according to the firm Gas Buddy. He also talked about immigration, made false claims there, saying that an army of 25 million people, President Biden, leaving aside the army rhetoric.
He's like that FedEx guy who talks fast. It was the old FedEx commercial.
Right. Who were rapidly expelled from the country. Crime was nowhere close to record high under President Biden.
But he's right.
President Trump has not settled 8 wars. That list includes various wars, various situations.
I don't know if you saw the clip I put up on the site, but it's my favorite for the day.
Go on. I don't have time.
Trump's Gettysburg Address.
Gettysburg Address. Yeah. Grateful for what you did have time for. Thank you very much for that.
And of course, Newsom put up his post that consisted only of me.
Yeah. Did you watch it live or could you?
No.
You couldn't?
No, I watched the first few minutes going in, and then I decided I had much better things to do with my life.
Well, I noticed Pogo said on Trail Mix this morning that he wasn't going to watch it, but he was cutting vegetables for dinner. And I want to ask him, how was he? That was a late dinner because that speech was at 9 o'clock, and Pogo was cutting it. He was cutting his vegetables at 9 o'clock, so he must have had a late dinner.
Where does Pogo live?
In West Virginia.
Oh, so
anyway, that's a sidebar. But anyway, he said that he wasn't going to watch it, but he had it on in the kitchen in the background, cutting his vegetables, and then he wound up listening to the whole thing against his will.
I like it down on the lower one where you can see one of my bookcases, and the bigger one you can't see my bookcases.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Is that what? Oh.
Yeah, that's one of my 6 bookcases.
Oh, yeah.
As I said,
we
better
gotta-
things to do with my life.
Oh, we do have I don't know if this is a real commenter or not. That this one's saying, this is AA somebody, DI 2 UNC UUNC. Tell me hi, say hi, I'm real. You know what? I don't think you're real. I think we'll wait for a real commenter to talk to.
Yeah, you have to say something to comment about before you can.
Yeah, this thing is weird. It puts each comment up twice, and I haven't figured that out yet why it does that. But anyway, well, no, it didn't do that. It's just that this person wrote so many. Okay,
Yeah, it's kind of a trick of age that I sleep in 2-hour snatches, which is why I'm frequently up and down. But I've also been playing with my new blog design. So I spend about 4 hours with my
that's the
TI
time
instructor with WordPress.
I know all about that. I can't tell you how many dozens and dozens of hours I've spent on WordPress in the last couple of weeks or months. I mean, it's a time hog. My AI assistant it's a blessing and a curse. Is I try to do a lot of things on the website that I would never attempt on my own because I don't know how. Things about how we display videos and comments and various things and media and uploading images. But then I get into the AI assistant about it, and it's just kind of endless, all the things, because if you do one thing, it breaks another thing, and then you got to go back and fix that, and so it ends up being nearly as time consuming using AI. But without AI, I wouldn't be able to do any of it at all. So,
and my problem is I'll be doing something and I'll click on something and I'll lose the AI.
mm-hmm.
And I have to go back and re-instruct the new AI.
Well, now on your left sidebar on both my Gemini and my Chat GPT, you can go back and click your recent chat so that you restart, so that you don't have to restart the whole chat.
Somebody could have told me that before.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I had to discover that on my own. They don't make it real clear, but if you enlarge the sidebar on the left side, which is usually by default, I think, hidden, if you open that sidebar, you'll see recent chats. So, and what's nice is if you want to pick up the conversation on a chat that you had 2 or 3 chats ago, you can go down that list and just click that one, or you can click the most recent one. And yeah, I did have to discover that on my own. I didn't.
And the other thing is, I speak English. They speak computer.
Yeah, well, you can tell them to be more conversational.
Go look for something, and I'll go, where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is the thing you want me to click on?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm constantly telling them, make that speak human. Tell me that in human. And they'll do it. They respond. They know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Another thing that's very useful is they can read screenshots. So if you're involved in like on WordPress and they're telling you do this and do that, and you're getting confused about, you could do a screenshot of the page on WordPress that you're on and upload it to AI. It will read that and then tell you exactly where to go on that page.
I have got to write down what the system is for taking a screenshot.
Yeah, and you can ask AI to tell you that. I learned how to do screenshots from AI. I mean, you just tell it what computer you're using, what operating system and everything else, and then it will tell you how to make. I mean, like on my Windows, let's see, it's when the Windows buttons Shift S, yeah, and then it makes then you can make a screen. But anyway, it's different on every computer. But
Well,
that's
I'm using Windows 11, so that would probably so it's
but
that
then that's what it would be. You hold
Yes.
the Windows button down, the Shift button down, and you hit S for screenshot. Why you have to
Got
do
it.
3 buttons? I don't know why you have to do 3 buttons, but that's Microsoft's doing. Anyway, so I don't know if you can stand it, but I have boiled him down to 1:40, just a minute, under 2 minutes of the highlights from this speech, if you can handle it.
Oh, I can handle it. He doesn't scare me. I just think he's an ignorant ass.
Yeah. And it was on full display last night. I mean, my takeaway was, because I've seen this before, he often gets confused and doesn't remember that when he's talking to a general audience, which this broadcast, all the major networks were carrying this, he forgets that this is not a MAGA rally, and these aren't the people, the kind of stuff he says at MAGA rallies, it scares normal people. But anyway, here's a reel that a minute 40 and of what was a 18-minute overall.
Right.
We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world.
We are live with Heather Cox Richardson talking about the Trump attempt to, in effect, redefine America's identity. So, Heather, let me start by asking you this. Donald Trump and his administration have gotten increasingly blunt in describing a vision of America in which the real Americans are a limited number of people. White Christians, whites, there's contempt for immigrants from certain parts of the world, which struck me as in direct conflict with what I was always brought up to believe, which is the message on the Statue of Liberty, give me your tired, you're poor, and the notion that America was founded on an idea, not on blood and soil conception of who real Americans are. Going back in history, am I right to think that was the original way in which Americans thought of their land, and how durable has that foundation been over the years?
So I think the way to look at it is less to think about how it has changed through American history, because there are a lot of permutations from the framers of the Constitution, who in fact arranged a government in such a way that most people who lived in the colonies or the states at that point couldn't participate in the government, through the KKK, through going forward. It is worth thinking about two ways to look at human society. One is in which some people are better than others and have the right to rule. And the other is the idea that we are all created equal and have the right to be treated equally before the law, to have a right to have a say in our government, and a right to have equal access to resources, including things like healthcare and education. Both of those strands have run through American history. So if you're looking at the strand that Donald Trump is trying to put into place now, and I would say in addition to Trump, people like Stephen Miller, his White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Russell Vought, the Director of the Office of Management and Budget, who was a key author of Project 2025. There's a whole bunch of players in Trump's circle. Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, her advisor, Corey Lewandowski, who are trying to put in place what I would call a Nazi worldview, in which they are taking that idea that some people are better than others.
That was another clip, but I wanted to get to the part where she says Nazi worldview. I like that part.
Yeah. And you remember the posts sometimes out there called room raiders? Where
oh yeah.
the guy on the left, I love that room. with the window and the bookcases and the couch. I mean, that was a 10 room.
Yes. And so here's what I was going to play. I got them out of order here. Here's a minute 40 of Trump last
Good
night.
evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There's never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail.
Hey, Jack,
totally failed.
Just in time to hear
the hottest
the last 30
country
seconds of
anywhere
Trump.
in the world.
We'll spare you
right.
that.
The last with Lawrence O'Donnell starts
So,
right now.
so Craig,
Hey,
did you
Lawrence.
watch the whole thing last night?
We have.
Oh yeah. I watch them all. I watch all the rallies during the campaign.
You're
I watch it all.
a tougher man than I am.
Well, you see, but my deal about that is what I wish. If I said this back at the campaign, is if every independent voter, every swing voter, watched just 15 minutes of a rally speech, he would never have become president. I swear, I believe that. I mean, because people ignore him, he succeeds. I mean, that's what bugs me.
Well, I think basically, and you've done this, is when you're out there following somebody around, you get to where you hear it so much that you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You know, whether the stump speech or whatever, however they do things, it becomes kind of normal for you. And I think that's been the problem with Trump in the election, is the more he gets out there and real people see him and they go, well, that's weird.
Yeah. It's like George W. said after his first inaugural speech. He told Hillary, that was some weird shit.
But I
noticed rebellious Renee was trying to click in, but then she disappeared. So I don't know if she is having trouble or not, but keep trying, Renee, if you're trying to get in.
Yeah.
Anyway. So did you watch any of it or clips of it or anything, Jack?
No, I didn't. I've read a little bit of the comments on it, and that's about it.
Well, I mean, wasn't the biggest deal in the world.
Think that my opinion of the the money's given to the troops is that sounds like he's having almost as much trouble with his military as Putin's having with his.
Well, and I did this. I put this together just a little while.
On behalf of a grateful nation, it is my honor to present this 1,776 Warrior Dividend. Happy holidays.
President Trump is promising 1.4 million soldiers a $1,776 warrior dividend. That's patriotism, right? But it's a total shell game. Despite the talk about tariffs, this isn't new money. It's a payday loan from the troops' own future. Get the whole story right now on trailmix.cc.
Yeah, it's an advance on pay or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that where they're getting it? Or
yeah. A
housing vouchers I was reading.
Yeah, I've got. I had old. Where is he up here? Let's see. I had our pal. I gotta find it.
Yeah, because I know it can't be new money if the checks are in the mail.
Yeah, here I had our Gemini pal do this, and I didn't know about this till I found out from AI this morning. Because I asked the simple question: where's this money for these soldiers coming from? And he did some research, and here's what this is all him here. He wrote this. Trump's claim that tariffs are footing the bill has nothing to do with trade revenues. That's the first thing, because he claimed in there that this is the tariff revenues that's paying for this to the soldiers.
Yeah.
And then this is how my AI keeps portraying it as a payday loan, is what he keeps calling it, meaning that it's they're rating a $2.9 billion in housing funds that Congress already passed for next year, and then aggregating that cost of living adjustment that they were going to get next year into a single holiday check. So the catch, still reading AI here, the catch, that monthly housing bump soldiers usually see in January isn't coming. So it's money they were already going to get. They just put it in a lump sum so that he could brag about sending it to them last night.
So it's just like the COVID check where he signed his name on it.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be putting his signature on these as well, I imagine. I'm sure of that. But I mean, so not only was it, I was calling that thing, his speech, a disinfomercial. That was my word for it. There's rebellious Renee. Let's see if we got her in here.
Okay.
Did you make it in, Renee? Well, she's trying again. No, it says device not connected. I wonder what her problem is. Anyway, where were we?
If they do that check to the troops like they did the COVID check, it will be messed up. They sent me, this is funny, they sent me a check for me. They sent me twice what I was supposed to get, because
For the COVID? COVID
because
is
they
that
did
right?
Sherry's, they included Sherry because I had filed, the taxes after she passed away that year. And I filed the taxes for that year, and they sent me a double check, and it was only in my name. I assumed when I heard they were doing that I would end up having to mess with it because it'd be in mine and Sherry's name.
Yeah.
So I just stuck the damn thing in the bank.
Yeah.
I didn't bother.
Well, now, was that the COVID check that came during the Biden years or the Trump years?
Trump years.
Trump
Yeah.
years, yeah.
Yeah, Biden could figure this out. The Trump people couldn't.
Well, they made sure Trump's signature was on it, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. It was on it. It was on it, and it was only to me, and it had no explanation. And so I'd say, well, I'm just a dumb old man. I don't know anything about anything, and I stuck it in the bank.
Well, I mean, this is 1.5 million soldiers. Some of them all across the globe. I mean, and the other thing that's a lie he said last night is some of the checks are on the way right now. That's not true at all. That's not true.
It's what he's doing is he's hoping that Congress will be embarrassed and go ahead and pass the other thing anyway. And so he's shuffling money around until that happens, because there's going to be, when some of these younger soldiers, which basically they depend on that housing voucher.
Yeah. And that's, people say, well, he's just buying votes for the midterm. Well, now what's going to happen when those soldiers you're talking about discover next year, as the midterms get close, that they're not getting that subsidy because he already gave it to them in this check, which they spent on Christmas, and didn't realize that they wouldn't be getting that check. I wonder what's going to happen.
He gets the credit for this check. The Army gets the credit for all the screw ups of it that show up later.
Well, they'll blame Biden.
Nobody will do a headline about this, about the poor guy that can't get his voucher.
Yeah.
And that's.
Anybody have any commentary on Bongino being the first one to go?
Oh yeah, we got it. Remember that we got into him a while ago. Let's see. Remember this when we had Lou on?
Listen, I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now. I'm paid to be your deputy director, and we base investigations on facts.
He says, quote, I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now. I'm paid to be your deputy director, and we base investigations on facts.
So he's admitting that he didn't care about facts before.
That's right. More when he was a commentator, I guess. But,
they all had to admit in court, in depositions, that they were basically just lying for profit. It was all entertainment. That became their actual defense in that Fox case is, well, we didn't mean all this stuff. We were just entertaining our viewers. When they get to court, they admit they're lying. I actually think that appearance was what did him in. Because, that was on Sean Hannity where he said that. And Sean Hannity was really boring in on him because of the discrepancy between it goes back to the pipe bomber case. Anyway, he ended up with egg on his face in MAGA world over that interview.
Well, and I suspect there's a number of them like him that are finding it wasn't near as much fun as they thought it would be. They actually have to get off their butt and work,
Well, he'd only been on the job a couple of months, and he went on Fox and Friends in the morning, and he literally was all in tears. I would have to say, it was a close call, but it was described by others as in tears, and he was complaining about the long hours and the time away from his family and what a sacrifice it was and all that kind of stuff. And that was only a couple of months into the job. He was saying all this.
All of those political aides, it's a high pressure job if you do it right.
Yeah.
They burn out pretty quick. Anyway. And
that article on the chief of staff isn't going to help either.
I still maintain, I don't think that was any, you don't do 11 interviews that totaled over 11 hours across 11 months. If you don't know what you're doing, that was just no, spilling the beans over drinks at a bar or something. She had a purpose in doing that. I'm still trying to figure it out.
She was agreeing to being taped and on the record, so she had to know what she was saying.
Well, that was why I was listening to probably an NPR interview of the guy that wrote that. And he said usually when you're dealing with someone like that, they do it not only on background, but on deep background.
Yeah.
Even if you quote them anonymously, you have to ask permission.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's a pro. I mean, and he's not a tabloid journalist. He's really as much of a historian as he is a journalist, because and his trademark is he does books about chiefs of staff. That's not exactly. It was kind of weird that he was writing for Vanity Fair in the first place, given his background.
Well, I think it's a interesting. I mean, all I've heard is what people talked about it, because I've not read it or anything. But it just kind of, like you say, 11 interviews of sitting down. I don't know how long they sat down, but they sat down probably at least an hour.
Well, yeah, he said each one was around an hour.
Yeah.
And it was spread out across 11 months as well.
Yeah.
I mean, almost a year.
I mean, she did
every time there was a big event, he would set up an interview with her. So he was getting real-time interviews about real-time events throughout the year.
And then they kept going on about the photographer and those close-ups, and he just came out and said, anyone who looked at my past work knows that that's what I do.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that photographer, but if I was if I was her assistant, setting up that interview, I would have made myself familiar with the photographer ahead of time.
Oh, whoever set that up and allowed it to happen did it basically. You got to have better control than that,
But she did it herself. I mean, what I am trying to understand is this is a woman who knows what she's doing. She is a pro, and she set this up herself. I don't think it was an accident. I think she had a couple of purposes. I mean, maybe, she wanted to create some distance, show that she didn't agree with the tariffs, and she didn't agree with the retribution or the January 6th pardons. For whatever her future has in mind for her future, she wanted to get that on the record. That wasn't me. It was all him. And the other thing that I noticed that was throughout is, now she's from Florida, and she's very close to Rubio. And she got a lot of shots in there at JD Vance. And one thing that's going on that the rest of the world's not really watching is there's already a campaign going on for the Republican nomination, and two of the main rivals are Rubio and Vance. And I think she will be she will be Rubio's chief of staff or campaign manager, I imagine, if Rubio runs. And she's already landing some hits. She talked about JD Vance's, love of conspiracy theories and implied that JD Vance is not really a committed MAGA believer. And she describes Rubio as, he's evolved. He's a true believer in the MAGA agenda now. I mean, that was her purpose, I think.
Yeah, could be. I noticed she took a hard hit on Musk too.
Yeah, that was another one. Yeah.
So, and that basically is Rubio's enemies right there. Is the tech billionaires and JD Vance.
Because she's a score settler. I mean, she has. I've known some people in Florida who've known her through the years, and she's a tough cookie. She's very big in the DeSantis campaign. She was an aide to DeSantis, and she and DeSantis's wife tangled, and she ended up getting thrown. I think a big turning point for the Republican nomination last time was Susie Wiles getting thrown out of the DeSantis campaign and her going to Trump.
No.
Had that not happened, DeSantis might have had a shot at, because Trump was not doing so great at that stage of the Republican nomination. So there's a lot of history there.
So there's some hard feelings then, huh?
Yeah, and she keeps her powder dry. And when DeSantis and she was the one that was, I mean, when she became Trump's campaign manager, all of a sudden Trump was just really focusing like a laser on DeSantis with all the insults and everything. I mean, she clearly, her first job when she took that campaign manager position for Trump was to take out DeSantis. I mean, they figured out if they could get DeSantis out of the way, Trump's got a path to the nomination. So that was her focus. And then ultimately when DeSantis quit, and she had never had said anything, and she wrote a tweet the day that DeSantis dropped out of the campaign, you know, something really snarky like, have a nice day. I mean, she got a little shot in on that day.
Oh, do you see where Trump Jr. is engaged?
Yeah, what's that all about? Is that the woman that he had been seeing for a while? Or?
Right. You know, he shipped off Newsom's ex to Greece to clear the field, so she was in a whole other country.
Right.
And he married some Florida, or engaged to some Florida socialite.
Yeah, and they've been together for a while, but she and Kimberly, I didn't realize. I thought they had actually engaged. I guess not. He and Kimberly.
Oh yeah, they were engaged for a while, and
were
then
they? Were they?
And he's engaged to her, and she is coming across as another MAGA. You know, more looks than brains and too much money.
Well. No. So did Trump help himself or hurt himself last night?
Well, you know, I actually cannot believe that there's any way to argue that he helped himself. I kind of tried to think of a way. I mean, because I think two things. Well, I'll just quote two people. Steve Bannon made the point last night I watched some of his show on, if you think you can't handle watching Trump, you ought to try watching Steve Bannon's show. I also do.
Like I say, you're a tougher guy than I am.
And I'm always interested at times like this, how he was not complimentary of it. And his point was very well put, very well taken, that he said, look, you know, this was carried by the major networks. This was not a speech that went just to his base, and he gave a base speech that would appeal to MAGA believers, and it was not an appropriate speech for a general audience. The way I would put it is that, you know, when he does his manic MAGA routine, it scares normal people.
Well,
and then the other was Karl Rove wrote in the Wall Street Journal editorial this morning that when it is a terrible mistake, just like Biden did this too, is you cannot tell people they're not feeling what they're feeling on the economy. You know, you just can't tell them that when they're feeling the pinch and you're telling them everything's great, then they just get mad, you know.
Well, I think what I'm seeing with my nieces and nephews is basically this: they're struggling to buy big ticket items. You know, the washer and dryer went from, you could get a pair for around $800 to now it's over $1,200 or $1,500.
That's a good one to look at. Yeah.
And the same thing with my niece with the car. She went looking for a used car, and there was no, you know, that poor people get the old junk beaters, you know, and they're just not out there at a reasonable price. And she ended up, fortunately, had good enough credit that she could buy a new one. But she was very surprised she could buy a new one cheaper than she could buy the used one that she was looking at. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different things going on like that just, you know.
I mean,
Yeah, gas.
I don't know who came up with that word affordability. I've got some issues with it, but it's certainly better than inflation.
But
Oh, we got a new player in the house, Howard Mortman. I gotta introduce. This is who Jamie and Jack. This is who we call Extreme Mortman.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Jack. How are you guys today? How's everybody doing today, Jamie and Jack?
Hi, Howard.
Howard is the. What is your official title at C-SPAN?
Oh, it's like it's from Charles Dickens. It's called Great Expectations. That's my title.
Oh,
well, Jack and is it Jane and Jack or Jack and I'm sorry. What are your names again?
Jack and Jamie.
Oh, Jack and Jamie. Okay, or can I call you Jamie
Jamie.
and Jack? Can I go that way? Well, Jamie and Jack. My official title, and Craig is Communications Director at C-SPAN in Washington D.C.
I love C-SPAN.
Thank. Why can I ask you?
You've been there a long time.
Yeah, but thank you, Jamie, for saying you like C-SPAN. I'll ask you why in a second, but yeah, Craig is right. I've been here a long time. I've been here about 15 years, thank you. But it feels more like 15 and a half years in C-SPAN stuff. And Craig, thank you for the branding on there. Thank you.
This is Howard's popular podcast. What kind of stuff do you do on there? I've listened to a few. It's great history.
Well, thank you. Well, Jamie and Jack, here's my story. All credit to Craig Crawford for creating and embracing. And by the way, Jamie, can I ask you? You say you love C-SPAN. Before I go any further, because I end up talking too much. Can I ask why or what do you watch on C-SPAN?
The main thing I watch are the various history and background and commentary. I cannot take the call-in programs.
Now, see, that's the part I like the most. I love the callers.
Yeah, the thanks, Craig. The call-ins have been with us from the very beginning. The reason for the call-ins is Brian Lamb, when he started C-SPAN, took calls in 1980 was our first call from Yankton, South Dakota, was our first call. And the reason is there's no other opportunity for Americans to be able to talk to people in power or to leaders or to journalists. And Craig Crawford has been on many times in the past and took calls. And we learn a lot, and they often ask really good questions. Sometimes I admit, what you might be reacting to may not be, to everybody's liking, but it's still in an era where everybody just talks to people. It's like Craig Crawford's chat room here. It's just a great way to talk to others. So
what bothers me about the call-ins is I'm fact-oriented. And I don't care whether it's coming from the right or the left or the middle. Just please don't spiel out your latest propaganda. Back it up with what you know or think. And that's where I go crazy to screaming at the television.
You're totally right. And you want to get information, you want to learn, and you don't want to. You can go. There are many other places for propaganda. I totally get it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes.
Well, the other thing we want to talk about with Howard is our old days at the hotline, and which was a political aggregation, news aggregator where Howard and I worked. I don't know when it was, the 90s, the 70s. But
Grenada. I think we invaded Grenada together. That was a long time ago. It was with Grenada. It was a weekend I'll never forget.
But here's Howard in the Bush Gore election, questioning Bush's choice of Dick Cheney as running mate because of Howard was questioning whether Bush really needed Wyoming that bad. So here we go with Howard.
Pennsylvania's a swing state, but Wyoming is not.
Wyoming is not, Howard. That's a great opportunity.
So are you saying Bush should have picked the governor of Pennsylvania, Tom Ridge? Huh?
Well, it seems from Chuck's chart that Wyoming's in the bag and Pennsylvania's not, and so it might be time to second guess the vice presidential picks.
There are a lot of other ways to be able to tell where these guys are targeting too, not just where they're in the polls and how close races are on electoral votes, but if you look at where the candidates are spending their time, if you look at where they're running their ads, you'll get a really close picture to what we've just put up here.
Craig, you have aged well, and I have not. Let me just say that.
Oh, I don't know that.
We were giants in those days.
I like the fact that the men are all wearing beards.
You know what? They're both gray now in that video. That's AI at work. We made them all black now. Can you make ours black again, Craig, with AI?
Well, what's weird is the top of my head is still dark. I don't dye it, but my beard is almost completely white. I don't understand that.
Hey,
I
Jack,
asked my primary care doctor about that, and he would look at me like, "Why are you asking me?" I don't know.
Mine absolutely refuses to go completely gray, so I guess I'm stuck with it.
I actually asked I always go to my barber and say, how do I get the haircut with a hole in the middle? That's what I want to know. It's like, how do you get that? What's going on with that? Jack, what is your story? Tell me about you now, Jack.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an old hillbilly out here in southern Missouri.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, I made the mistake of getting an education.
He's doing the Sam Irvin country lawyer routine right now. Don't buy it.
Are you both fans of Craig Crawford? Like most Americans, are you fans of Craig Crawford? Is that what brings you to this? Is it? I have.
Well, let's see. We've been hanging out for how many years now, Craig? About 20?
Yeah, I started arguing on his blog in 2007. So I'm a youngster on there. There's a lot of people been around.
Yeah, I came in at 2005 or 6, somewhere in there, one of the first ones, and he just moved over and made space for this old public service director who, I retired and now I play on the computer.
Oh, that's great. I tell you, turn this into a roast here, but Craig was my boss for many years at the hotline, as he said, and that was.
Now this is what Jack does. I just wanted to say, Jack is a classical music expert.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, no.
He didn't mention that earlier.
No.
Well, okay, we'll say music expert at least.
I enjoy music, and the gentleman that had started doing that passed away, and he actually knew what he was doing. But I was willing to take it up, and I've taught myself a little bit about it.
Well, Howard, this is a weekly feature that we've had that the gentleman, like Jack said, who did it for years, died, and then Jack picked it up. We call it Sunday Serendipity, and it's music that Jack finds and plays.
Jack, you've been holding out on me. I didn't know about this. About you. It's great. I finally get some information about you, Jack. This is great. Okay.
And here you have some Tchaikovsky that he had on just last Sunday. And then I have to be careful about playing these because YouTube actually hits me with copyright complaints, and I have to delete this stuff from the live stream, so I only play a few seconds of the music. But anyway, back to whatever we were talking about.
Craig's a lawyer. He knows how to get around these things. I love this dip in, dip out in a couple of seconds. I love this. So Jamie and Jack, if I can call you that. So Craig was my boss for several years of the hotline. And I will tell you, I'm actually in C-SPAN right now. I've been here 15 years and I love it. I love the mission. But in terms of the absolute greatest moments of personal growth professional growth development, was working for Craig Crawford, and he was so supportive, and he was fun, brilliant, a great writer, but he took great pleasure in seeing other people bloom and develop, and supported everybody in a way that just it doesn't happen in Washington. Everybody, it's like we're like the worst of Hollywood in a way, just except it's politics where everybody's out for themselves. Craig does not have a bone of that in his body of being out for himself. He just takes care of others. So you've hitched your wagon to a great leader when you're with Craig Crawford here. So I will say that.
Well, and Howard was one of the funniest
tolerant.
people. His wit is I think we came up with the name Extreme Mortman at the hotline, didn't we?
So the plug is Craig gave me one of the first online columns ever to write when it was at the Hotline National Journal in late 90s, 2000s, and Extreme Mortman. And I loved doing it, and Craig encouraged me, supported it. And when I left the hotline, the name ended. It became a blog when I worked for another company called New Media Strategies. There's two. So the story goes in two different directions: the resurrection of the name as a podcast, but also in the C-SPAN story, the rare step of associating someone's name with a C-SPAN program. And this is the new direction. This is actually a very bold move for us to actually acknowledge a personality, to actually acknowledge a something associated with a person. So it's my podcast. What was the column under Craig? It's now the podcast here at C-SPAN, and it's a lot of fun. Just like I had a lot of fun with Craig at the hotline. So I continue to owe so much of my personal enjoyment to amphetamines and to Craig Crawford.
You should come on Craig's blog and join us, even if you have to use a phony name. But
maybe he does. We don't know.
I was going to say, Craig's about the only one that uses his real name on that blog.
Well, if you see the name Shecky, how about that? Then that'll be me.
Am I old enough to remember Shecky Green?
Oh, Jamie, God bless you. As Joe Biden would have said, God love you for remembering Shecky Green. Shecky Green was one of the greats, still one of the greats. And my problem is my material is so old. I'm still telling old S.T. Kefauver jokes. So that's how old my material is. So.
Well, one time Howard was run. You almost won the comedy store. No, not comedy store. What was it downtown?
So here's
but Joe Lieberman beat you out.
Yeah. So here's Jamie and Jack. Since you brought this up, I'll tell you guys the story here. The 1998, 1999, I was with the hotline working for Craig, and the funniest celebrity of Washington contest used to be held annually. And used to be held at the DC Improv, where the great John X used to be the general manager. And I competed one year. And the premise of the competition is you do your own jokes, you do your own 5 minutes, and then the judges determine who the funniest celebrity of Washington is. And I practiced, I wrote my own material. And I got up there, and I had one fatal flaw. I was fortunate to have Craig and others in the audience cheering me on. My biggest problem, though, I am not a U.S. senator, and I don't have a cheering section of staff who are reliant on me, and I don't have Norm Ornstein writing jokes for me. And so so if there's anything worse than losing to Joe Lieberman is losing to Joe Lieberman using Norm Ornstein jokes. But I did lose. Yeah, but I'm not bitter. It's not like I remember any of this. No, it's all. So no, this is it's tough to remember out of the details now. But yeah. So, but Craig was there. Craig was very kind to sit and got nachos and I think around the drinks for everybody at the table.
Boy, you have a great memory.
No,
Oh, you're right. They had great nachos.
Yeah, they were great nachos. Nachos were fabulous. So yeah. So thank you for remembering. Yeah. We were giants in those days.
Yeah, you got a good story out of it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of nachos, Howard was the one that also innovated a great innovation at hotline is we loved going to the parties. We were kids then. I mean, so it was a big deal to get invited to the big parties. And the hotline was a pretty big deal in media circles at that time. Everybody wanted to get quoted in it, all the reporters and everything. So we got invited to a lot of parties, and of course we weren't making a lot of money. So the lavish food setups at these parties was a very big deal to us.
Yeah.
And so we started doing food reviews of these, and Howard wrote the best ones. And what happened was everybody saw these food reviews, and their parties would get all this coverage because we liked their food or reviewed their food. So then we got invited to even more parties.
and two things. The key is actually to write great things. Nobody's going to invite you if you're going to trash it. So you just have to praise them. But Craig Crawford, our host today, innovated two elements of this. One, the style, which still lives on among the older people in DC, of and it would be like the potatoes are gratin, or the past vegetables. Yeah. So that was Craig's innovation, beginning every review.
Make it kind of an opera sound.
and
the carrots.
The carrots. Yeah, it's like basic stuff, like the chiclets, the bouillon, it's like this like basic stuff. But the funniest thing, Craig, I'm going to let you tell this story. Jack and Jamie, you're so kind for letting us steal your time here to tell old Craig Crawford stories. But tell everybody, Craig, this is a classic Craig Crawford story, the bolding of cigarette. Oh. Tell us a story, Craig, about bolding cigarette.
Because we always bolded food. That was part of our food reviews. And it went beyond their food. I laid down a rule at the hotline that anytime food was mentioned in the hotline and quoting an article, any food item had to be always put in bold. I didn't want people's names put in bold.
Let me just pause you. That was the only thing. That was the only style guide, Craig. It wasn't like personnel. Like you could do whatever you want as a human being, as a person. You could write however you want. There was no style guide except for one rule Craig Crawford laid down. If you mention food, it has to get bold. Otherwise, you're out of there. You're fired. That was the only rule that he had. Okay, Craig, back to you with the story now. Yeah.
And then what would happen? A lot of reporters in DC in town, they picked up on that. So they would deliberately look for ways to put the names of food items in their articles. I'm talking about like Washington Post, New York Times. I mean, there are all these articles in those days that kind of out of context suddenly mention a food item, only so that the hotline would put it in bold.
That's inside jokes, huh?
And
get to the cigarette. Now get to the cigarettes. How did we end up bolding cigarette one time?
Oh, well, I the way I remember it is
Lucienne Goldberg. Lucienne Goldberg. Lucienne Goldberg.
That's right.
Yeah,
Lucienne Goldberg.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She said, I'll pick up the story.
I think you got to do it.
Lucienne Goldberg said to Craig Crawford at some event, "I'm so hungry, I could eat a cigarette." And so Craig quoted her and puts in bolded cigarette because the assumption now it's a food.
So once Lucienne Goldberg admitted eating cigarettes, we had the bold cigarettes from then on.
So that's the second thing in the Craig Crawford style guide. Yeah.
Back to the Clinton scandal with Lucienne Goldberg. That's a real name from the past. But
that scandal was when we were at our peak.
Yeah.
At the hotline. I mean, what we did is we aggregated news coverage. I mean, we did that before it was cool, you know what I mean? And that was our whole mission, is we would quote articles, and it was a quick read by noon every day of everything in politics that was going on, and that story, the Clinton scandal from start to finish, was right in the middle of our peak distribution, and it was huge. I mean, it was so huge.
Well, when I was working for the U.S. Chamber, speaking of food, one of the nicest parts of it was that the staff became backup for any parties or big parties where food was served. And it was one of the benefits of being employed there, is you got to get dressed up and eat for free.
That's great. I love that. That's right. like at the Academy Awards when people are in the audience, like fillers, like seat fillers.
Right.
Your food fillers.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
Did you see that the Oscars are going to be aired on YouTube now and not regular television? What's up with that? I mean, I'm not surprised because I've been seeing I've been saying for a while, and I think one of the big stories of our age that later years they're going to look back and say that was the time that Google and YouTube took over television and nobody noticed.
Well, Craig, actually, if I could throw one business thing into here, one thing that's new for C-SPAN the last couple of weeks is that we are now included. I don't know, Jamie and Jack, if you have YouTube TV, not just regular YouTube, but YouTube TV, the streaming service. But we are now included in YouTube TV, and it took many years. But this is like 2 or 3 weeks ago they included, and Hulu Plus Live TV also includes C-SPAN now, all 3 C-SPAN channels. So that
all 3 channels.
All 3 channels are on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you hit on one of my biggest complaints right now. That the big streamers, whether it's Hulu or YouTube or anything else, if you want to see something like CNN or MS, whatever they're calling it these days now,
they're advocating a disease, multiple sclerosis.
If you want to see
MS
them
now,
live,
get MS now.
but if you want to see them live, the minimum you have to pay is $45 a month.
Wow.
And on YouTube and Hulu, it's up close to 100. They throw in all of these other channels supposedly to make you feel good about it, but there might be only 2 or 3 that you really want to watch. And forcing people to pay that much money to see 2 or 3 channels seems like an ongoing crime to me. It's not like when you had the 3 networks that you saw on your TV. Now streaming is becoming much more expensive.
Jamie, you know, it's so funny, Jamie, you say this in all seriousness, because what you just said has been the knock on cable TV for decades. Like, I just want to see 1 or 2 or 3, but you're throwing all these sports packages at me. And it's so funny, like even though the whole media environment's changing, that attitude you're expressing, here's what I want to see, just get me what I want to see, never changes. And it's where like YouTube TV is basically reassembling the old cable bundle that everybody rebelled against for years, and we don't want this. And now it's back, but under a new company. So Jamie, you're very, very sharp in that observation. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
But it's if I could, what I do is I actually go on Amazon and subscribe individually to the channels I want to see, but very few of them are live. And that's the way I keep the costs down.
Yeah.
So if somebody came up with a live that allowed you to do that, sure, I'd pay $10 a month to watch CNN or C-SPAN or MS Now. That'd be $30. That's cheaper than buying Sling for $45.
Jamie, you're sharp. You totally get it. The issue is live TV is what people want, because in the end, like I love Star Wars movies, but I don't need to have a whole library. I have them all memorized. I don't need to every night come home and watch the same Star Wars movie again. But like live TV, it's brand new stuff. So that you're totally right. The content, what people want is the live programming, and that coupling all that together, that's the challenge. So,
well, here's how I use YouTube on my smart TV, not the channel, or what do we call? How do we distinguish those? There's the YouTube TV, the subscribing thing,
right,
and then there's YouTube on my smart TV, like on my desktop. Anyway, what I like about YouTube on my smart TV is how it remembers what I like. And even on, like the other day, I noticed News Nation has a channel now on YouTube. And I thought, well, I'm kind of interested in what they're doing. And so I subscribed to their channel. Immediately, YouTube created a For You selection.
Wow.
And what they did is they went through the clips that are on News Nation in their archive on their channel, and they picked out all the subjects that I've been watching on other YouTube channels, and like lately, I've been watching a lot of European stuff on Russia and Ukraine and everything. So it picked out all the clips on News Nation in the last couple of weeks about Ukraine and Russia and Europe. And I was just blown away by that. It's like, I mean, it's to me, that's just a total redefinition of how you watch TV.
Yeah. All right, Craig, I have to be rude. I got to move along. I have to. I apologize.
Well, yeah, you're a working man, aren't you?
I'm a working man now. This is great.
Jack
and Jamie,
you got my sympathy.
Oh, I know. I wish I and you
when
have my
are you
jealousy.
when are you gonna retire? Because boy, do I ever recommend it.
Howard, you started to ask me something.
I'm sure I did, and I'm sure it was a wonderful question, but it eludes me now. So I wish you all the best. Craig, my apologies. I do have to scoot.
Here we go. Here's my definition of retired. I was tired yesterday, and I'm tired again today.
Oh,
Craig, my last question. This is like the dream for you to do this. When is your cooking segment? When is your cooking show going to start? Are you? I know you.
You know, I actually have 3 in I just yesterday I did ham. I did accelerated ham. What did I call it? Ham on. Anyway, I did 15-minute ham dinner that I haven't put up yet. I haven't finished editing. And then I did. I've got another one that I did the slow cooker shrimp boil, where I throw everything in there unpeeled. The shrimp, the onions are unpeeled. Did you know that an unpeeled onion in a slow cooker will peel itself? And the garlic clove too. And so I put everything in there unpeeled and let the slow cooker peel everything. It's the ultimate lazy cooking.
That's almost like war wonton soup.
What's that?
Oh, well, you know what wonton soup is. War wonton is the kitchen sink of Chinese soups. You have the
you just put everything in,
the eggs and the onions, and it's wonderful.
That's a Lazy Man Cooks episode coming. I'm gonna look that one up.
Jamie, just so you know, when it comes to Chinese food, I'm just the low main on a totem pole.
Now,
all right, guys.
Howard's the king of puns. Sometimes I want to get you on, Howard, and we're going to have you do a smackdown with my AI on puns. I want to pit the human punster against the AI punster and see who wins.
Oh, good.
Well, I'm Kung Fu Young, so.
Jamie and Jack, you're fabulous. It's wonderful to meet you. Everybody enjoy retirement. I'm sorry I can't be there for you right now.
Good to meet you.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, thanks a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I noticed we can't get Renee's having trouble getting on, but I noticed she just posted on Trail Mix this meme, so I thought I'd at least put that up. If you're a Republican or MAGA, what an embarrassing night. Looked like an elderly man on his way to bed who wandered into a podium and decided to play dictator for 5 minutes. No wonder so many Republicans are resigning. This party is a total embarrassment. Renee,
that is good. Well, I'm going to bail out now and go look up Howard's blog.
Extreme Mortman, Extreme Mortman. I think it's great history stuff. He goes back and the C-SPAN archives are an absolute treasure.
I know.
And Howard has been a great advocate of that and was responsible, along with Brian Lamb, who tasked Howard to do this, is to really build up the C-SPAN archive system so that you could go in there, you could word search, you can find clips of politicians that on C-SPAN 30, 40 years ago, and you can edit them and clip them, and it's incredible. And that's what his podcast really focuses on, is showing examples of that.
Okay, well, Farewell, gentlemen. It was really a whole lot of fun, and I got things to do.
Yeah. I got to make some lunch myself. And
bye, Jack.
How about you, Jack? What do you got going on today?
I don't know. Got to sit here and think about it. I had my late breakfast just before we sat down, so I'm good for food for a while. Oh,
well, I think
it's raining outside, so I can't do any yard work.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have some lunch and go see if we've given away Europe yet, because we seem to be working on that.
It just gets to where I even hate to go look at the news some days.
Yeah.
And that
I haven't really dug into it, but apparently, Putin gave a speech that's just really threw down the gauntlet on called Europe little pigs or something like that.
Somebody posted or Jamie may have done it or something, and it was kind of like, well, you did the video clip of
Ann Applebaum.
Yeah.
Man. I really pay attention to her, and she's just been tough from day one about this. I mean,
and I went and looked up Institute for the Study of War.
Oh, I saw
see what they had to say about it, and that was they kind of agreed with her that basically Putin is he's captured 2 or 3 little towns. And she's claiming he's marching across Ukraine, and
I just think it's almost sad how we're not paying attention to him.
There's that, and just it all. If they ever end this war, that area they're fighting over is going to take years to restore to where it's productive land.
And that's something to watch out for, because some of these discussions in the negotiations is who gets to in that game on rebuilding Ukraine, who's going to get those contracts and so on. And that's going to be a one to watch, because I think they're going to be a lot. I think that's one of the things Jared Kushner's going to get involved in, that Witkoff guy. I mean, they're going to be looking at getting some of that money that goes to rebuilding Ukraine. I mean, not stealing it, but getting the contracts to do the rebuilding. And so how those contracts get awarded is going to be something to watch.
Of course, you've got the Europeans there that are, they basically got close ties, so that it's going to be a little difficult for Kushner. It's not going to be quite like he's used to dealing with with the Gulf states, where there's one person that all you got to do is kiss one person's butt to get your contracts. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think what will be interesting is a little bit like what Trump did with Ukraine, where he made them promise to give us all the rare earth stuff and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, how do you enforce that?
Yeah.
Because Ukraine basically is a sovereign nation. If they ever get their borders secured, they can say, well, and Trump's gone. They just basically say, well, that wasn't a good contract. We're voiding it.
Well, it's like, the only way this ends is for Putin to lose. I mean, and I know that's not an easy thing to accomplish, but that's the only way it ends.
Reading something about Putin's having a little trouble with his military right now, that they're starting to go, maybe we need to rethink this. I don't remember exactly. It's a couple of days ago. It's just kind of a article in one of the major papers, but I don't know. It's one of those things, and it's, you know what, it's like I tell my nieces and nephews. I said, you know, it's your world now. I'm old, I'm retired, and there's not a lot they can do to me.
But the thing is, us retired folk, we got more time to pay attention and help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help them
That's
see
true.
what to do. So that's our job. I see that as my job. I'm going to pay attention because I got the time to pay attention.
We get to be that crazy uncle, right?
Right. Right here. Retired. I was tired yesterday and I'm tired again today. Okay, I'm gonna go make lunch.
You know, that's the thing. I remember growing up about there'd be old people who are retired and they just didn't like it. They didn't have anything to do. And so I was always wondering if that would be me. And it's like, once I quit.
Yeah. I'm busier than ever.
Yeah, I'm doing stuff. I just, it's just, and then my sister's the same way. She worked as a computer programmer for years, and then she retired early. And she said, no, she'd never would never go back.
Yeah, I know. I got relatives, a couple that are a little older than me, still working, and they go, I just don't know what I'd do if I retired. And I'm like, find out. You'll surprise yourself.
Well, there is, the thing is like with what we're doing here and so on, there are so many different things to entertain yourself. So that it's kind of like we were talking about cable and stuff. And, I have basically just get all my information offline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to do the Substack stuff. I've subscribed to several of good ones of those I enjoy. And then there's some people I thought I would like that I've just never bothered paying for it. That is, take their free stuff and they don't give enough. They don't give enough. You got to, if you're going to give $10 out of me for a month's worth of stuff, you got to give me something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, it's got to at least equal the Netflix content that I consume. That's my standard. I got Netflix for $9.99 a month. Are you going to top that?
I don't even, when they changed, it doesn't play on my bigger TV, which is an older smart thing. And I just dropped them when they changed their thing. And what I've been doing is I've gone retro. I can go on eBay, and I can find me old CDs or old DVDs or
really?
Blu-ray. Yeah, for sometimes like $3 or $4 for a movie.
So you have a DVD player then?
Yeah, I went out and actually bought my first Blu-ray.
Oh.
So I don't know if I'm retro or just really slow adapter.
Well, I discovered something about a year ago. I had all these home movies for my family that I made going back into the 60s, and I had upgraded them from Super 8 to this to that, and finally to VHS. And it's now you can get a little $150 machine that'll convert VHS to digital, And so and then I discovered I didn't have a VHS player anymore. And I thought, well, I'll go on Amazon and get one. They don't make them. They literally do not make them anymore. And I had to go on eBay to get a VHS player. And after I thought about it, I wasn't too surprised, and I researched, nobody, not Korea, not China, nobody makes VHS players. You cannot get them on Amazon at all. These used ones,
Yeah. Well, it's all that old technology. Is like when I moved to finding the old floppy disks that I used to have.
Oh my!
You know,
yeah.
save some pictures on it.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, lost those pictures. Well, I will let you go. And,
yeah, I'm gonna go make some lunch. I do have a couple of cooking videos I'm finally going to get posted on Lazy Man.
Yeah,
Cook.
you need to get back into that. You got to get some lightweight stuff too. You can't do all.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I've done 3. I just haven't finished editing them and putting them up. So that's all I got to do.
I started playing with the AI, was it CHPT, whatever, that one. And they're
Chat GPT.
Yeah. And I am going to try to set up, I'm 72, living by myself. I'm going to try to set up a way that if I'm not on the computer for a couple of days, it will send a text or a email to one of my family members and say, you better go check it. Because I was telling my sisters, I said, I'm not so worried about me, but I've got 2 animals here that are dependent on me. And nobody sees me for a week or 2 at a time sometimes.
You don't want to end up like Gene Hackman and the dog died.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
And
do they have such a thing? Is there?
Well, it was the AI was telling me how I can do it.
Really?
Huh. Then it's basically being able to have my computer contact my phone service and send a text that way.
Huh.
And create a little button so that when I get online, when I get on my computer in the morning, I click the button, and the computer sometime during the day will check to see if I click the button, and if I don't click the button, it'll send a message. So
that's a great idea. That really is something.
I think it's, and that was what I was sitting there thinking when I did it. I said, well, can we do that? And of course, it gave me a couple of ideas where I could do a paid service and do it. And I said, well, what can I do from my computer? I mean, I've got this computer that does all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
And they said there's a way. I haven't set it up yet. I've got to get my brain wrapped around it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not real good at following instructions. But that's what I need to get busy on.
Yep.
Because I will procrastinate if I don't make myself. Oh, something the other day I was laughing, talking about being retired and stuff. I said, I figured out why old people are so stubborn. You know, you can't get an old person to do anything. They just so stubborn. I said, well, you know, I said, it's kind of habit. If I'm not stubborn, I probably wouldn't get up in the morning.
That's a good quote right there. If I wasn't stubborn, I wouldn't get up.
You know, you go, okay, yeah. I know what got me thinking about it when everybody was getting on me about climbing the ladder to put my lights in the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I do pretty good on the ladder still, but I got to thinking that about being stubborn and like that. And I said, well, you know, you just get to where, I can do it and I will do it.
That's great.
So, you know, all these different things you learn as you get old and retired that you couldn't understand before.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go. You take care.
All righty. That was good talking. Again, sometime I keep trying to figure out, is there some sort of regularity about this that would be good, that but I just kind of do it ad hoc.
I don't know. It's a lot of times it just, I get tied up with doing something. This seems to work well for me.
About 11 a.m.
Because I'm kind of a late riser anyway, so it gives me a little time to read things and get my coffee drank and get a bite of breakfast.
Yeah.
And then see, because you started at 11, but it's 10 o'clock for me.
Yeah.
And I don't get up. I never get up before 8 o'clock. I'm not one of those.
Well, we'll just keep playing with it. See, I'm sorry, Renee tried to get in a couple times, and I wonder what went wrong. I'll have to see if I can.
I don't know. She keeps insisting on wanting to do that that off-breed thing.
Oh, yeah.
The Apple.
Oh, is she an Apple user?
Yeah, I bet she's an Apple user. I bet you on everything.
That Apple.
I know she's trouble. On the iPhone.
Apple's trouble. On this Yardstream site. Although they said they had the Safari recently, they put out a notice. This StreamYard, which is what we're on, this platform for the chat. Yeah. They sent out a notice that Safari was finally you could finally use Safari on here. So I thought maybe that would mean the Apple people won't have so much trouble.
But who knows? They may have done an upgrade and
what Apple does to their own customers is they're the ones that prevent their own customers from using other sites like this StreamYard right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the trouble with theirs, they have one, but then nobody else can. They won't let anybody else use it. So only their users can use their site, and so then the Apple customers get mad because they think that that my site here is preventing them. No, it's their own Apple that's doing it. And that happens on all kinds of fronts. Where Apple limits what their customers can see, and the customers think it's the other person's. It's the other company.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's a little bit like the streaming stuff. We just I know with Disney I had Disney for a while. Then nice cheap introductory offer, and then they raised it, and then they raised it again, and
that happened to me. Well, we're at the 90-minute mark, which is when my
and I've been saying
AI generator. I've learned that
15,
at 90 minutes, my AI generator can't handle cutting shorts from the videos. They get too long.
Well, you take care. I'll get out of here. Bye.
Okay, I'm Lady Mau Mau, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.